Shortly after the Unabomber suspect was arrested, the standoff between the FBI and the so-called Freeman was settling in, and the beef market collapsed in England due to mad cow disease. Some witty person in the beleaguered state of Montana came up with a new slogan for their license plates. Montana, at least our cows aren't crazy. I still think that's one of the funniest things I've heard in years. It's funny because it's true. There is no mad cow disease in Montana, and the people were starting to get a reputation for being a little bit insane. The joke acknowledges what most people know, that right-wing politics are crazy. Yet this insanity is spreading in our current climate of economic insecurity. Even in the insanity, though, there can be truth. I think that's why people are fascinated with the patriots, sovereigns, and freemen. The freemen have said that the U.S. government is a corporate prostitute, which is true and fundamental to any realistic analysis of society. Working people are losing their rights, their livelihoods, and their dignity due to the government and the corporations the government serves. Why do you think a Fruit Loop like Pat Buchanan could do so well? He was at least hinting at the truth, and with the rest of his crazy nationalist ideas. The craziness comes into play, especially when you look at how the right wing thinks we should respond to social problems. They think that if we let everyone have a gun and let them avoid taxes, that somehow this will help ordinary Americans. The right wing claims that if society does not have laws which structure our interactions with each other and define the limits of what is and is not acceptable, that somehow out of anarchy will come justice. Isn't that what they want? They want the government and its laws out of business. This is insane. Doesn't it occur to these people that the government was basically structured like that in the 19th century, and yet the government was still a corporate prostitute? During the course of the 20th century, people have forced compromises on corporations, such that corporations had to make at least some concessions to society and collective interests. We tax corporations to pay for insurance, workers' compensation, and stuff like that. Taxes are supposed to be the vehicle by which people who control more resources fulfill their obligations to society. Now, of course, the government represents the ruling class. This is a truism. Marx put it this way: the government is the executive committee of the ruling class, in this case capitalists, the people who own the corporations. Without taxes and other constraints on business and property, we would still live in a world that looked like a Dickens play. Poor people starving in the streets after their 37th consecutive 14-hour day at the factory. The particular laws which have taken us away from that scenario are a result of class struggle. Working people forcing compromises upon the wealthy few, and this struggle continues. The right wing wants to go back to a time before the rich had to compromise at all, to a time when rich people could just tell the governor of some state to have soldiers machine gun and burn striking workers, like J.D. Rockefeller did in Ludlow, Colorado. To think that this state of affairs is somehow better is insane. The lunatic fringe of the right wing thinks that others are trying to control them. In the case of freemen or patriots, it's through laws and taxes. Now, there is a kernel of truth in this because we as a society have determined that there are limits to behavior. These laws are not personal, except when rich people buy laws to let them avoid equal treatment. Allowing rich people more free rein will not make this situation better. It will only mean that working people will be forced by the market to work for even lower wages in even more dangerous places with even fewer days off and less job security, much like Russia or Mexico today. So why do you suppose the government is so patient with the few right-wing fanatics running around the country? Why do you suppose that the right wing in Congress says the same things that the patriots say about taxes and environmental protection laws? And why would rich people have given money to a fascist politician like Buchanan? Perhaps Buchanan is not actually insane. Maybe he really understands what he's doing, and he really wants a world in which there are no limits on corporations, but there are amazing limits on working people. A world just like Hitler, Mussolini, Franco dreamed of. It's not necessarily irrational for rich people to support right-wing policies, because these policies are inevitably in their interest. The right wing, no matter how much it complains about corporate prostitutes, still supports laws which give the highest rights to the largest property owners, to the very same corporations for whom the government works. Right-wing politics is pragmatic if you're rich. It is insane and self-destructive if you're a working person. The political struggle may yet be incomplete, full of fits and starts, but a lack of complete success does not mean that the struggle is fruitless. We have won some concessions, and we will win more and more if the right wing is not allowed to divide us. Fascism promises easy solutions to the more complicated problems of class society, but in the end, the right wing offers only an empty pipe dream, while the rich continue to make off with all the money. Working people are ultimately the victims of right-wing politics. We confuse these issues at our own peril. This is Richard Curtis.
KGNU welcomes citizen commentaries on virtually any issue. If you'd like to voice your opinion on KGNU, you can write the commentary down and send it to us. Post Office Box 885, Boulder, Colorado 80306. That's Box 885, Boulder 80306. Or if you'd like more information on doing a commentary on Boulder County Community Radio, you can call us during business hours at 449-4885. It's 8:20.